Hi, I am Howard Kradjel, Systems Architect at Prometheus Computing, and I will describe the Prometheus IEC 62559 Use Case Editor tool. The Use Case Editor tool makes it easy to create and maintain use cases that adhere to the template described in Part 2 of the International Electrotechnical Commission's 62559 Standard on Use Case Methodology. In this session, I will demonstrate how to access the Prometheus tool, how to view and edit a predefined use case, and how to create a use case from scratch. To access the tool, you will go to the Prometheus Computing IEC 62559 website and enter your username and password. If you are a first-time user, you will need to click on the register link in the upper right and enter all of the information, including the invitation code that was received from your Prometheus representative. Once you are logged in, you will land on the home page. The home page lists all of the discrete data entities that are associated with a use case. The home page is also referred to as the expert view because it allows you fine-grained control over the use case information. So that's all there is to it. That describes how to access the tool and how to land on the home page. Now, let me demonstrate how to view a predefined use case. To view a use case, you will go to the Use Case Rendering page. From the home page, the Use Case Rendering page is accessed by clicking the link in the upper right side of the screen. When the rendering page is displayed, you will see the existing use cases listed in a table at the top of the screen. There are screen controls at the top of the table that allow you to easily scroll through multiple pages of use cases and to adjust the number of items that are listed in one table. In this case, we have 8 use cases, and so we see only one page of use cases on the list. Another way to constrain the list of use cases and to find the use case that you are looking for is to use the list filter that is accessed by clicking the magnifier icon that appears on the upper left of the table. Once clicked, the magnifier opens a dialog box that allows you to enter a string. After entering the string and pressing the return key, the set of use cases is shown that matches the search string. You may clear the search criteria by clicking on the button labeled Clear Filter. To view a use case, you will click on the radio button that is shown to the left of the use case that you are interested in. Once you click the radio button, you will then click the render button, and that will display the use case in the IEC 62559 template format. In preparation for editing the use case, let us take notice of some of the details of the template page. First of all, you'll notice that some of the text is underlined. The underline indicates that the text can be edited simply by clicking on it. So when you click on underlined text, the text turns into a dialog box and you can edit the text as you would like. The second thing to notice are the Add Another buttons. By clicking on an Add Another button, you can add a data item either by selecting from a list of already existing items or by adding an entirely new item. The third thing to notice is that when you hover over a data item, you will see a hyphen icon and an X icon appear. These two icons are used for deleting the information, but each icon deletes the information in a different way. The hyphen icon will remove the data item from being associated with a use case, but it will preserve the underlying data item. The X icon will remove the data item permanently. as well as, of course, remove the association to the use case. When you click the hyphen or the X icon, you'll notice that the font will change to a strike-through style. If you decide that you do not want to delete the association or delete the item, you can click on the plus icon that appears, and that will return the data item to be in an undeleted state. You'll also notice that when you click on the X icon, the background color of the cell changes to red, while when you click on the hyphen icon, the background color changes to an orange color. Whether you change the item by clicking on the underline, by adding another, or by deleting, you can permanently save the changes by scrolling to the bottom of the page and clicking on the Save button or the Save and Leave button. Clicking on the Save button will save the changes and return you to the template page. Clicking on the Save and Leave button will save the changes and return you to the home page. Okay, let's make a couple of changes to an existing use case. We'll start with something simple, and we'll add a business case, and we will associate the business case to this use case. To do that, we'll go to the business case data element table, and we will click on the Add Another button associated with the business case name. At this point, we could select one of the existing business cases, but we're going to add a new one, so we'll click on the Add button. You'll notice the Add button gives us now the opportunity to click on the cell and to change the name of a new business case. So we'll enter a new business case name. And now remember to save this business case name. What we'll do is we'll scroll to the bottom of the page and click Save. And we're going to remain on this page, and we get returned back to the business case. So now you'll see we've defined a new business case and it's associated with this use case. If we want to associate the business case with a domain, we can click on the Add Another button associated with the domain. In this case, we're going to choose from a set of existing domains and associate this use case with the emergency response domain. So we'll do that by clicking the radio button on the left of the emergency response domain, and we'll click the Add button. Now you notice this data element remains shaded, which means it's not yet saved. So we'll scroll down to the bottom of the page and once again click the Save button. So in that way, we've now added the business case, we've associated the business case to the use case, and we've also associated the business case to a domain. And so by following this same pattern, you can add all of the data elements that you'd like, or change data elements that you'd like to any of the items of the use case. Once you've made all the changes, you can click Save and Leave, and you will be returned to the home page. Now that you have seen how to access a tool, display use cases, and to make changes to them, let me show you how to create a use case from scratch. To get started, we'll go to the home page. If you're not already on the home page, you can get there by clicking the home link in the upper left. Next, we'll expand a list of use cases, which happens to be the selection at the bottom of the page. And that will then show us all of the use cases that pre-exist. Similarly to the use case rendering page, you'll see there are controls at the top of the list for paging through the list if there are multiple pages. There's also a control for changing the length of the list if you would like. In this case, we want to create a new use case, so we'll select the button on the bottom right that's named Save and Create New Use Cases. That will have a drop-down menu with one item called use case, and we'll click on that. And then you will see a page that lists all of the data items associated with the use case. And in fact, at the bottom of the page, it will show the related data elements that are also associated with the use case. Now, we could enter all of this data from this page. However, you saw previously the template page is a very convenient method of entering data, and in fact guides you through the creation of the template and the creation of the use case. So what we'll do is we'll simply here add the name of the use case. Then what we'll do is we'll go to the use case rendering page and we'll find that use case and we'll enter the rest of the data from the rendering page. So we'll find the use case name data item, enter the dialog box. In this case we'll call it injured person phones for help. We'll scroll to the bottom of the page where we have the save buttons and we'll click on save and leave, and that will return us to the home page. From here we'll then go to the use case rendering page as we did before using the link in the upper right, and we'll see the list of use cases. Now if you remember, we had 8 use cases previously. This is the 9th use case, so this table is set to show 8, so we've now created a second page of use cases. We'll use the controls to migrate to that second list, and we see here the newly created use case. We can select the radio button on the left to view the use case, click the render button, and now we have the template for this newly created use case. From this template, we can add the data associated with this use case. And given what we learned before, it's straightforward. So we can add an ID by clicking on the underlined text. We can add a business case by selecting from a list of existing business cases, or we could add a new business case if we'd like, and so forth. So we can go through and create our use case. And when you have completed entering all of the information for your use case, do not forget to scroll to the bottom of the page and click on the Save button. In this demonstration, you have seen the basics of accessing the tool, viewing and editing existing use cases, and creating a use case from scratch. By exercising these basic skills, you will be well on your way to using the Prometheus IEC 62559 use case editor tool to create and maintain your use cases in a way that adheres to the IEC 62559 standard template.